Hello friends, in this video we will install Ubuntu on a VirtualBox. You either install it on a VirtualBox or a normal machine. The installation is same, there is no change. So we will install Ubuntu on VirtualBox. I'll open the Oracle VM VirtualBox. So I've created a machine here in which I already installed Windows 7. So I'll say start the machine. So I've inserted a CD, Ubuntu CD. So it's booting from the CD right now. So in the last video we saw how to use VirtualBox. Now it's booting from the Ubuntu CD. We are using Ubuntu 10.10, the latest version. So you either install it on a normal machine or a virtual machine. The installation remains same. Don't worry about this upgrade BIOS options. You can ignore this option. Ignore this warning. So I think VirtualBox is the best way to try out any new operating system, because you don't have to do any partition in your hard disk. You just have to create one hard disk file which you can delete it later. So now we have two options. We can try Ubuntu without installing. We can install Ubuntu. I'll go to install Ubuntu. I'll select install Ubuntu. So for best results, please ensure that this computer has at least 2.6 GB of drive space. We definitely have it. Is plugged into power source, is connected to the internet. So we don't need this right now. Download updates while installing. We're not going to install all those updates. Ubuntu uses third-party software to display Flash, MP3 and other media to work with some wireless hardware. Some of this software is closed source. The software is subject to license terms included with the software documentation. Install this third-party software. If you want to install you want to play MPEG 3-layer audio detection, you have to use this. So currently we don't have internet connection. You can see here this says no internet connection. No problem, we'll click on forward. So it says erase and use the entire disk. You can erase the entire hard disk and use it for Ubuntu, or if you can specify partitions manually. I don't go for erase and use the entire disk, because I already have a Windows 7 machine on the computer, so I don't want to erase the entire disk. So I would suggest you to install Windows software first, that is a Windows operating system first, and then go for a Linux installation. Because once you install Linux and then try to install Windows, the Linux partition is lost. The boot sector, or you cannot boot from the Linux machine. You cannot boot the Linux machine. So I would suggest you to first install the Windows operating system and then go for a Linux installation. I'll click forward. So we already have a partition table here, a schema which we already done. When I have installed Windows 7 here, you can see the NTFS 104 MB. This is for the boot slash, you can call it the boot sector of Windows 7 boot partition, and this one is the actual partition of Windows 7. So I don't want to disturb these two. I want this partition to be changed. I'll say format it to ext4, and I want it to format this system. I'll select the mount point as slash. So since we are learning the Linux from scratch, we don't want to mount all the partitions on different drives. You can do that. You can create more partitions and mount each. You can mount slash boot directory on a partition, slash home on a partition. All these things can be done. So you can also have slash user local on a different partition. So currently we'll say all the directories should come under the one partition. So we'll mount it on a slash directory. That is the root directory of all the directories. So I'll say OK. You can also select on which hard disk you want to load the bootloader. We'll see that later. So we will select swap. I'll change it to, it's a swap area. Okay, we'll say OK. So it's been selected as a swap area. It will not be mounted on any swap area is not mounted to the operating system. So swap memory is similar to a virtual memory in a Windows machine. So it's like a RAM. It's similar to the RAM, but it's not as fast as RAM. Whatever the applications which are idle and sleeping can be pushed to the swap memory when there is no RAM. If the RAM size is less, for example, if you have 1 GB of RAM and almost 1 GB of RAM is occupied and you want to run more applications, some of the programs which are in a sleeping stage or idle state are moved to the swap memory, and swap memory is used like a temporary RAM. So some high definition applications or high database applications definitely require swap space. So I would suggest you to have a swap space of twice of the RAM in the computer. So if we have allocated 1 GB of RAM, we have 1 GB of RAM stick in our computer, we can have 2 GB of swap memory. I'll say install now. So you can see this bootloader is installed on /dev/sda VirtualBox hard disk. So it will be installed on VirtualBox hard disk. So we'll select the time zone here. We are actually in India. So we'll select India and say forward. So it will be copying files. It takes some amount of time. So we'll have complete installation on the training. We'll not pause the video anywhere. I'll say forward. So I'll select the USA keyboard layout. So I'll say Mac. It's a Mac VirtualBox. You can say Mac PC or Mac desktop. You can also leave it as VirtualBox. So username Mac. I'll enter a password. See, I just given my phone number, so you can give a strong password. So if you say login automatically, it will not ask the username and password. I would suggest you to use pick a username and password always. I'll click forward. So if you encrypt the home folder, whenever somebody accesses the hard disk from an external location or using different media, if the person boots the computer from a different media and access the home folder, he'll not be able to read if you encrypt the home folder. So we'll not use this right now because we don't want to gain all this encryption right now. We'll say forward. So it starts installing the machine. You can see the features of Ubuntu here. Thank you for choosing Ubuntu 10.10. So it has some exciting features. It's like Shotwell Photo Manager. I haven't seen this in 9.10 or 8.10 and 9.10. So here we have this slideshow will give you what exactly is Ubuntu 10.10. So you can see the GIMP editor, Jokusha, very own home recording studio. So we'll see this later. I haven't seen this home recording. And we have Stellarium, a 3D planetarium for your computer. Okay, very nice features are there. I haven't seen this. Let's see. So we have Shotwell Photo Manager, PTV, video editor. I think we have a lot of new editing stuffs in Ubuntu 10.10. So make sure that you read all these things so that you get a little excited with all these new features, because even I'm excited to see all these new features. Okay, we have buy music while you listen. So you can buy the music, online music store. Email and chat. So Empathy IM. I don't know about this Empathy IM. We know about Pigeon IM. I like Pigeon. I don't know how it is. Empathy. I'll definitely try this out. We have Evolution Mail. It's a mail client similar to the Outlook in Microsoft Office. We have something called Gweber Microblogging. I'm not sure what it is. Let's see. And we have Skype. It's not included here. It says it's supported software, so you can install Skype on Ubuntu. Skype is one of the most used chat software or a chat service. You can also make phone calls through Skype. If you want to make phone call to US through a Skype phone, you can do it. You can buy the currency, or whatever to say, currency, or buy the phone card, and then make calls at a cheaper rate to phones in US, UK, throughout the world through your computer. Social from start. So Twitter, Facebook, supported services are there. Let's see. So browse the web. We have a Firefox. So one of the most used open source web browsers in the world. I really like Mozilla because we can install a lot of plugins available in the market. For a web developer, we have a lot of plugins. For a designer, we have a lot of plugins. So I think one of the most powerful web browsers in the world is Firefox. When it comes to open source, I think Firefox is the best. So we have a supported software. You can install Flash, Adobe Flash player. If you want to play YouTube videos or any videos, you need to have a Flash installed in your computer. And you have Google Chrome supported. Okay, we have something we can customize. Okay, appearances, language support. So we have documentation and presentations. We have OpenOffice.org. We have presentation spreadsheets, documentation like Word, It's similar to your MS Office, Word, Excel, PowerPoint. It's free of cost. You don't have to pay money. It's from formerly Sun Microsystem, and now it's Oracle. The open source belongs to the OpenOffice.org belongs to Oracle now. You can see below whatever the steps happening, copying files and configuring hardware. Everything goes on very smoothly with Ubuntu. So now found difficulty in installing Ubuntu. So it's very simple. Only few steps, only few clicks will help you install the operating system. So you can see installs grub. So grub is the bootloader for Linux. So it loads a grub menu in which you will find more than one operating system. If you have more than one operating system in your computer, it loads everything in the menu, and you can choose from the grub menu. Grub, the full form of the grub is Grand Unified Bootloader. I hope so. I don't remember it. It takes some time to install, so I don't want to make this video boring. So I just explaining a few things which are not so essential, but still It's good to know knowledge. You can call it as need. There's two kind of knowledge, like need to know knowledge and good to know knowledge. Need to know knowledge is you definitely need it, and good to know, it's good if you know, even though you don't need it. So it's installing system. So I think the slideshow is complete here. So we can go back to the last slide. Okay, we've seen all the slides. We did not miss any. Okay. So this is an introduction for your Ubuntu 10.10 edition. I would definitely like to see what was that? There was some software here. Where was it? Okay, yeah, this one, Jokusher. I definitely want to say this home recording studio because I like recording very much. And a 3D planetarium for your computer. Let's see this, how it looks. I don't know if the virtual machine supports a 3D look. Okay, installation is complete. You need to restart the computer in order to use the new installation. We restart. See, if I have installed it on a VirtualBox or if I have installed it on a real machine, doesn't make any difference. It always makes difference how you make a partition on your hard disk. So I've selected two partitions, the /boot, the boot directory and one NTFS, two NTFS directory for boot and min for Windows 7. And I have selected one partition for ext4 and one partition for swap. You can have more partitions, either a NTFS. I would suggest you to go for an NTFS for the remaining partition where you store your normal files. And for Linux installation, you choose ext4, which is the latest. And for Windows 7, obviously, you'll select NTFS as a partition. You have no choice. You cannot do it on a FAT32 right now. So you can do it on a normal PC or on a VirtualBox. There's no much difference. So I restart the machine. So we'll see how our Ubuntu 10.10 is loaded with new features. Okay, it says please remove the installation media and close the tray. Okay, we'll say enter. Okay. So again, probably boots from, okay, it's showing you the grub menu. This is the grub menu where we have Ubuntu and Windows 7 both. So I would suggest you to check Windows 7 whether it's properly bootable or not. So now we'll go with the Ubuntu. So whenever we install Ubuntu and or any other operating system on a virtual machine, we need to add some VirtualBox add-ons, add-in softwares. So you will find it here in the VirtualBox. Install guest add-ons. So this is the guest operating system. The host operating system is the Windows XP which we are working on. So this is our Windows XP machines inside which we have a virtual computer, and virtual computer has a guest operating system that can be either Windows 7 or Ubuntu in my case. So you need to install some guest add-ons so that you get a complete features of a VirtualBox. Okay, it says Mac desktop. So whatever name we are given, so we'll log in as a Mac. I'll give my password as my phone number. I'll log in. So you can see if we try to get a full screen, so you need to use a right control key to escape the mouse from the guest to host. If we try to use adjust window size, it adjusts the window size. Again, if we try to enter full screen mode, you can see it does not provide you the complete full screen. So what we have to do is we have to add guest add-ons. So I'll right click, I'll use a right control and go minimize this. So I need to install these guest add-ons. So before we okay, we'll do this now. Install guest add-ons. Okay, probably when we say install guest add-ons, we need to restart the computer. So before restart, because there's a virtual box add-in software is loaded later. So we can see all this calculator, character map. Already we have seen this in a previous video. So we have games, we have graphics, we have empathy, internet messaging, office. You can see presentation, word, sound, and video. So I would want to see that recorder. Where is it? Okay, I'm not sure where it is. That new software recording studio. So actually there was a pigeon in the previous editions of Ubuntu. Now it's empathy internet messaging. So you can check this out later. Accessories. I'm not sure where it is. The recording studio. And hey, there's something called, okay, where's the planetarium? Because when we tried, it showed probably that was not included, that was supported software. I'm not sure. Okay, we'll go to this PTV video editor. Okay, we can edit a video. I think it looks similar to the Windows Movie Maker. Okay, we'll see this some other time. I'll close this. Okay, there's a new change here. We always find the close button here, close minimize button, but in this edition we find it on the left side. Okay, we'll close. So I'll use the right control button on the keyboard, and okay, before that we need to restart. So I'll go here, install guest add-ons. I need to restart the machine. Or I don't know if I can access. Okay, we'll restart this machine. Restart. Okay, we'll actually shut down and start the machine. Shut down. Yes. Okay, the machine shut down now. So now it's powered off. We'll go to storage. Okay, it's already inserted. See, when we say install guest add-ons, this ISO will be loaded here. You can see here. Actually, we had loaded drive G, but now it's loaded VirtualBox guest additions. So we'll say OK, and we'll start the machine. It's Oracle VM VirtualBox. Okay, now we'll say enter. So this time we'll make it a full screen. We'll make Ubuntu look full screen in this video after adding a VirtualBox additions. Okay, if we try in a full screen mode, you can see it's not completely full screen, so we'll see how it can be done. So you can see when we say install add-ons, restart the machine. So VirtualBox additions ISO is appearing here. So we can right click and say open. You can also open auto run prompt. Okay, we'll say auto run prompt. So it says the medium contains software intended to be automatically started. Would you like to run it? Yes. So it's asked for a password. So which password? The Mac, whatever the password you given for password for Mac, we'll enter that password. Okay, it's installing VirtualBox guest additions. So once this is complete, and we'll restart the machine, and we can go full screen. We can make the VirtualBox or the Ubuntu look full screen, the entire monitor. So I think this is the simplest way of installing Linux. Actually, it takes huge amount of planning to install a Linux operating system. You need to check the hardware configuration. You need to do a lot of research to install Linux machine. But if we try this way, this is the simple and most comfortable way of using. If you want to use both Windows and Linux, and again, if you want to have a different version of Linux on the same machine, you can go for manual partition and provide partition for all the operating systems, and then install Ubuntu on whichever partition you like. So I would suggest first Windows and then the Linux operating systems. I would suggest again, go for Windows first, Fedora next, and then you can go for Ubuntu. So starting the VirtualBox guest additions is done. Press enter to close the window. So we'll enter. So now it's complete. Still it's not showing the full screen, so we restart the machine. So we'll shut down the machine and then start it, so that I can remove the ISO image from the VirtualBox. Okay, so now I'll go to storage. So I'll remove the ISO. Oh, sorry, for this one. Okay, we'll select this and say H drive. So currently we'll go to H drive, my computer. So the H drive is a virtual drive, so I don't want the CD in this, a virtual ISO image which I've loaded. I'll say unmount all drives. Okay, so now there's no CD or CD image in the host G drive. I'll just start the machine. Say start. So it starts with a full screen. We'll say enter. You can see it comes on a full screen, completely covering the monitor. Wait for some time. I'm not sure about this error, this warning. I'll check this online, but currently we have no issues with that warning. So you can see now, completely covered. Screen is completely covered, full screen. And now we can log in. Okay, we see the the genome look and feel of Linux, same genome look which you already seen. You can go to Software Center, Accessories. I'm still not sure where that exactly the video editing software is there, or the video studio is there. Probably we have to install it manually. Okay, everything is same. There's no much difference in this 10.10 edition. So probably would definitely have some new screensavers, desktop backgrounds, themes. We'll have some themes. You can go change the themes, fonts, visual effects. So visual effects is not going to work for me. I'm installed on a virtual machine. It does not have a faster graphics card. So you can, when you install it on a normal machine, you definitely have a pretty good graphics card. It's not. I'm talking about an internal graphics card which is inbuilt in the motherboard. I'm not talking about a PCI or a PCI Express graphics card. So you can use a little animation. It looks like animated windows. So you can make the windows fly inside the monitor using Windows button and tab key. Friends, in this video we have learned how to install Ubuntu in a simpler way. So in the next video we will see how to install Fedora. Fedora is similar to install. Thank you for watching this video.